In this video, we're comparing the advantages and disadvantages of two different types of tank cleaner, specifically the humble spray ball, the most basic type of tank cleaner, and a spinning spray ball, a spinner. So let's define what we're talking about. First of all, the spray ball is essentially a sphere of metal with lots of little holes in it, and these holes fire out microjets of cleaning liquid in all directions to give a cleaning pattern to clean the whole tank. A spinner has a number of slots on a rotating head that rotates under the fluid pressure, and as these slots rotate, it brings cleaning liquid to bear on all part of the tank. So, what are the advantages of spray balls? Well, first of all, they're cheap. They typically range between sort of 50 and 250 pounds. Very, very cost effective. Price is their main significant advantage. Second advantage is they're very simple. As I said, they're just a lump of metal, a sphere with lots of holes drilled in them. There's no moving parts. There's nothing really to go wrong in them other than normal kind of wear and tear that you get in any fluid delivery system. So there's not a lot that can go wrong. They're very, very simple, very, very low maintenance. And the third advantage is, although this isn't so much of an advantage when compared to spinners, they're a low pressure system. They run between sort of 1 and 3 bar pressure. So what are the disadvantages of a spray ball? The main disadvantage of them is they're very inefficient. You get very, very little impact out of these microjets that they form. So you're relying on the dissolving properties of the liquid as it cascades down the walls. This takes time, and it takes quite a lot of liquid to do so. So they're inefficient. They can use a lot of water to get the job done. They're also limited in reach. So you're restricted to tanks of maybe 4 meters diameter. For spray balls, anything more than that, they're going to struggle, and you may need multiple spray balls to clean bigger tanks. The final disadvantage is that they actually just may not be possible for spray balls to clean really tough residues. Residues that are kind of ground on, that need some impact to get rid of them, then they're never really going to be able to do that, well, not in any sensible amount of time. So they're just limited to the types of residues that they can actually clean. So what are the advantages of a spinning spray ball over a static spray ball? Well, they're more efficient. Typically, you're able to reduce your water consumption by maybe a half, or maybe even more than that, depending on the residue. This is because they have more impact, they have more mechanical action, so you're less reliant on that cascading of the liquid down to dissolve the residue. You can get a bit of it off with mechanical action. They're also a low pressure system, so whether this is an advantage or not, it's not really an advantage. They use the same kind of pressures. If you're upgrading from a static spray ball to a spinner, you're probably not going to need to change your pump because they run at very similar pressures. There's an easy upgrade path there. But the final advantage is they will actually reduce the time it takes to clean a tank. So static spray balls just rely on the water cascading down. Over time, it will break down the residue. Whereas spinners, because they blast it off a bit better, they're going to reduce the actual cleaning cycle time as well. So what are the disadvantages of a spinner versus a spray ball? Well, first and foremost, they're more expensive. They're between 150 and 500 pounds. So they're kind of more or less double, maybe treble the cost of a static spray ball. So there's that to consider. They are, again, similarly limited in their reach. They don't really give much of a reach advantage. You're not going to be able to clean a tank much more than sort of 4 or 5 meters diameter with a single spinner. So they are limited in that respect. And again, they may not be able to clean the really tough residues. They're going to be able to handle residues more than the static spray ball, but when you're getting to really tough residues, again, they may still struggle. When compared to a static spray ball, there is a bit more to go wrong. Now, they're still very simple machines. They're run on ball bearings, so there's no gears or anything like that, but there is still a bit more to go wrong. There's a bit more maintenance when compared to a static spray ball. So, conclusions. For most applications, the modest extra cost of a spinner will pay for itself very, very rapidly when you're upgrading from a spray ball. So for most applications, we would always recommend using a spinner as opposed to a static spray ball, which is very water inefficient. However, there are some applications where a simple spray ball would be the best choice, and this is one if you're particularly worried about things going wrong, you're not going to be able to maintain the thing very well for whatever reason, it's in a remote site that isn't going to be maintained, then maybe you want the reliability of a spray ball because there's not a lot that can go wrong. But apart from that, there's not really that many situations when upgrading from a spray ball to a spinner would give some significant efficiency advantages and pay for itself very, very rapidly. So that's our video on spray balls versus spinners.